Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Break for 8 for Dementia Care Partners, where we do approximately 8 minutes of dementia education, and we follow that up with about 8 minutes of relaxation or meditation, some kind of activity just to help you get started on the right foot for the day. So my name is Anne, and I'd like to talk to you today. We'll actually kind of continue our conversation from last week about how important meaningful or purposeful activity is for a person living with dementia and actually for all human beings, right? But I'd like to talk to you about something that we use in OTPT, speech therapy, and rehab all the time to help people be, as independent as possible, but not overly challenged by an activity. And that technique is called grading or grading activity. So this type of grading doesn't have anything to do with the ABCs we get in school. It's more related to the grading we would see on a construction site where the level of something is either raised or lowered. So when we are talking about grading an activity, we are adjusting the level of complexity of a task. So how this helps in dementia care is just to keep your person, as stimulated and as independent as possible, but not overwhelming them so they become frustrated to the point that they become frustrated or even become hesitant to even attempt something. So grading is often, taking a routine task and simplifying it a little bit so your person can still do it. It's modified a little bit, but it still is the same activity. So let me give you an example of this. So say your person wants to make a sandwich, or you tell them to go make a sandwich because it's lunchtime. But if their brain is losing its connection, the connections between neurons, something as routine as making a sandwich can become difficult, especially as dementia progresses. So if you think about it, if you tell them to go make a sandwich, they have to first understand what that word sandwich means, right? And then they maybe have to get an image so they can recall what a sandwich is and what you're do with it. And then not to mention remember the steps of how to make a sandwich or how to sequence the steps of making a sandwich and then the supplies that they need to do it. So there's kind of a lot involved from a cognitive perspective into something, that once was very routine for them. So one of the ways, there are lots of different ways we can simplify this, but I think the one I'd like to talk to you today is a really effective strategy, and that is using visual cues. So a visual cue, is just something that they see that's going to help them remember what to do or what something is. And we think about it, we use this all the time. Like if I have to leave my house and I need to make sure I'm bringing something with me either to work or I've got dry cleaning I need to drop off, I put it by the door, right? Because that, seeing the dry cleaning by the door as I'm walking out provides a visual cue for me, right? It helps me remember not to leave the house without it. So let's go back to that sandwich activity. I am going to I'm actually turn this camera down so you can hopefully see. Can you see how much simpler it is to make a sandwich when actually the supplies are laid out ahead of time? So we've got the bread, and here's one other cue. I've got white bread on a green plate. Because when we use visual cues, just having that contrast between items helps the bread pop out, right? So if your person is maybe losing their visual abilities, and or just some attention, having some attention issues, having your visual cue kind of pop out helps to just makes it that much more effective. And all of these things are going to help decrease what I call or referred to as cognitive overload. So this happens when there's just simply too much information coming at your person, either from the environment, like too many directions coming at them, or just too many steps for their mind to have to process and think about. So that is it, our little lesson for today on grading activity and using visual cues to simplify activity. But I'd like to invite you now to simplify your own life for just a few moments as we start our meditation for today. So just find that comfy place that you enjoy. It could be laying down, you could be sitting up, and just go ahead, close your eyes, just begin to settle your body. Relax your jaw. Relax the tiny muscles of your forehead. And as your physical body begins to settle, just allow your mind to follow its lead. Just creating a little space between yourself, other people in your home right now or around you, your to-do list, any of life's irritations or demands. Just create some space for yourself. Detaching yourself from all those strings that are connected and pulling at you just for a few moments this morning. And if any thoughts or noises tug at you, just let them go for a few minutes. When you take time for yourself to detach and return to stillness, you'll find you're better able, you're more efficient, you're more capable of handling the demands of life. So in a sense, this time you spend with yourself makes life easier and better for not only you, but for everyone you interact with. Just continue to settle in and detaching from thoughts, emotions, anything pulling you in another direction. And please release any feelings of guilt for taking this time. Let's turn attention to the breath. On your next breath, just gently pause at the end of your exhale, just for a few seconds. Notice the stillness at the end of one breath and the beginning of the next. Spend a few moments breathing in this way. Just appreciate the stillness in between breaths. When the demands of life are hectic and seemingly uncontrollable, remember you can return here to reset, to to regain your composure, so you can re-enter life from a more powerful and peaceful place. Allow this sense of peace that comes from within you to illuminate your path today. And in doing so, you bring the light of your presence to other people and other situations. And if drama crops up, just try taking a breath and returning to this peaceful space, the space of your own power. Just continue on a little bit more in silence and stillness, just allowing this space to nourish you. And as our meditation comes to an end, just feel free to stay here a little longer. Or if you need to, you can just gently begin to become aware of your body. Maybe you give it a few wiggles. You may open your eyes if you want. So when we get pulled out of our peace, just trying to become aware of our ability to put our best foot forward. And we do so when we are calm. And if you can start practicing this, don't be surprised if other people begin to notice and respond positively, maybe even unconsciously. Because when you bring peace and calm to a situation, that you receive it back is one of the benefits. So trying to lead ourselves this way first from within before we enter an interaction or an environment, especially one like dementia care that can be quite chaotic. So just invite you to practice this throughout the day. Just becoming more aware of what and when something pulls you out of your peace, out of this stable place that you feel right now. And then we'll talk more again about what to do next, but simply becoming aware of this, the instances, the people, the places, is an excellent first step. Kind of like grading activity, right? We're going to simplify this for ourselves. We're not going to expect ourselves to be struck with a thunderbolt of peace, right? We're also not going to expect ourselves to achieve sort of Tibetan monk level of peace, right? But if we can take small steps to practice this, small steps to become aware of the situations that we're likely to encounter difficulty with this, that is the first step. Okay, everyone, I'm a little bit long-winded today, but hope you have a great day. You've got this.